Welcome to Stonewatch. This is my open spoiler discussion for Venom Let There Be Carnage. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you can notify for future videos. And be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And yes, I just got back from watching Venom Let There Be Carnage at the movie theater with my oldest daughter earlier on today, and I gotta say it was pretty damn good. Now, I just want to say this once again, this is an open spoiler discussion video, so I will be talking about some spoilers from Venom Let There Be Carnage. So you've been warned. Anyway, I thought this movie was great. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I thought that Andy Serkis did a terrific job directing this thing. It had like a runtime, like about 90 minutes, and I heard people were bitching that it was going to be too short and stuff like that. I thought it was actually worked pretty good for this movie. The pacing was pretty damn good. The fight scenes between Venom and Carnage were pretty damn awesome. I mean, obviously heavy CGI and everything else, but it was still awesome nonetheless. I think that this builds on a lot of what was set up in the first Venom movie. I mean, I saw that one. I did like that movie quite a bit, and I think this one just adds right on top of what they already had in it, especially with the dynamic between Eddie and Venom as they were like talking to each other, whether if it was in his head or as they're in the apartment and everything, and during the breakfast scene and everything else. I mean, it was pretty damn funny. I mean, I'm not going to say this is like my top favorite movie of this year, because it's not, but I did have a lot of fun watching this movie. I mean, the fight scenes kind of reminded me of the fight scenes between Kong versus Godzilla, and that was an awesome movie, you know, and that was pretty epic. So this kind of like gave me that same kind of a feel. You know what I'm saying? And I thought the scene with the party owner chick, Mrs. Chen, I thought she was pretty damn funny, especially like when she got possessed by Venom and she was talking to Michelle Williams' character Anne, and like they're, you know, because she was trying to find Venom to get him back to Eddie and everything. I thought that was a pretty cool and funny exchange. I know it's pretty damn funny. Venom Let There Be Carnage is a 2021 American superhero film featuring the Marvel Comics character Venom, produced by Columbia Pictures in association with Marvel and Tencent Pictures, distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It is the second film in Sony's Spider-Man universe and the sequel to 2018's Venom. The film is directed by Andy Serkis, from a screenplay by Kelly Marcel, based on the story she wrote with Tom Hardy, who stars as Eddie Brock in Venom. In the film, Brock struggles to adjust with life as the host of an alien symbiote, Venom, while a serial killer, Cletus Kasady, escapes from prison after becoming the host of Carnage, a chaotic spawn of Venom. 2018's Venom was intended to be the start of a new shared universe. Plans for the sequel began during the production of the first film. Harrelson was cast to make a brief appearance as Kasady at the end of Venom, with the intention of him becoming the villain Carnage in the sequel. Official work on the sequel began in January of 2019, with Hardy and Harrelson confirmed to return along with Marcel as the writer. Andy Serkis was hired as the director that August, partially due to his experience working with CGI and motion capture technology, which was an important part portraying Venom and Carnage in this film. Filming took place at Livingston Studios in England from November of 2019 to February of 2020, with additional filming in San Francisco also in February. The title was announced in April of 2020, and the film was primarily inspired by the comic book story arc Maximum Carnage from 1993 and the 1994 Spider-Man animated series story arc The Venom Saga, which aired in 1996 and then was released onto DVD in 2005. Venom Let There Be Carnage premiered in London on September 14th of 2021 and was theatrically released in the United States on October 1st of 2021 after it was delayed from its initial October 2020 release due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The film now has the biggest post-pandemic box office of $90 million and has grossed over $185 million worldwide at this point, and has received mixed reviews from the critics but positive reviews from the fans. Starring in this movie have Tom Hardy, Woody Harrelson, Michelle Williams, Naomi Harris, Reed Scott, Stephen Graham, and Peggy Lou, just to name a few. Currently, Venom is sitting with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 59% and an audience score of 85%, so the fans are liking this movie way more so than the critics. I'm one of those fans. I like this movie a lot. It was a lot of fun. I'm not saying it's like the best movie I've seen so far this year, but this movie was a lot of fun to watch nonetheless. Now, with a budget of $110 million and its worldwide box office at $185.6 million, it's well on its way of maybe possibly at least breaking even and maybe even making a profit. But this is week 2, and so far it looks like that the new James Bond movie, No Time to Die, is going to take the #1 spot at the box office this weekend. So we'll have to wait till tomorrow when we get the numbers from Mojo Box Office and how well this movie actually performed in week 2. That's going to probably see a lot in whether or not this movie actually has legs, right? Because usually, especially nowadays, most people who want to see this movie will go see it within the first 2 or 3 weeks, right? I mean, that's the way I've been going pretty much myself. If it's a movie I really want to go see, I'm usually seeing it within the first 2 weeks, if I can. You know what I mean? Now let's talk about that end and that post-credit scene a little bit here. Now, again, there might be spoilers, so you've been warned again. Now, I see everybody online saying that with that Detective Mulligan's eyes flashing blue, that this is like a sign that he could be the character called Toxin for Venom 3. Now, I'll admit, I don't know anything about that character. I've never heard of that character until today, okay? So I'm going to have to do some digging to get some more research on that because I know nothing about the character Toxin. I mean, when I collected comics back in the day, these characters were not a thing. And this was like way after I stopped collecting. And in the post-credit scene, we got Venom and Eddie hanging out on the beach as they ponder what they're going to do next. And then Venom tells Eddie that he can tell him about other experiences from other symbionts from other universes. Now, as he goes to do this, there's this white flash of light, and we're in a totally different hotel room in a totally different spot of the world. And then the broadcast of J. Jonah Jameson that we saw in the post-credit scene in Spider-Man Far From Home is on the TV as he reveals that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Now, I've seen some people speculating that this is how they bring this into the MCU, and I've also seen some people say this is how they're going to have Sony and Marvel actually make a clean break, and they take back Spider-Man out of the MCU when this is all said and done. When the storyline either wraps up in No Way Home, or if it wraps up in the Doctor Strange 2 in Multiverse of Madness that comes out in March of 2022. So we have to wait and see how they're going to actually wrap this whole thing up. Now, Kevin Feige gets it to where you don't have to go see this movie and this show and this so you can understand what's going on. If you do see all that stuff, it adds on to what you're seeing, but it's not like required watching. He gets it to where whatever you're watching, you understand what you need to know for that movie so you enjoy that story. And anything else that's in there that's like tidbits for other movies or comic books or stuff like that, just extra stuff. It's just like decorations, just extra things for people who actually do watch all the movies, who actually do read the comics. It's just extra stuff. It's not required. That's like the coolest thing about the MCU. I also want to talk about Naomi Harris's character, Frances Barrison, a.k.a. Shriek. Now, I didn't really notice this at first. I mean, I heard it, but it didn't really register until I was listening to the John Campea show during his spoiler discussion where he mentioned where she said that she had a mutation and they were going to send her to a place where they have other people with mutations. So this brings up the speculation. Could this be how they bring the X-Men into the MCU with her because she's all part of the Venom universe and that's how they get into the MCU? So I don't know. I'm kind of hoping it'd be something a little bit different than that. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that is a possibility. And I didn't know. I heard it, so I know I heard what I thought I heard, but I didn't really think about them actually using this a way to actually get the X-Men into the MCU. Maybe that's how they do that. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know, man. I had a lot of fun with this movie. I highly recommend to go see this movie if you can, and you definitely want to see this in the theater because this thing is just way too epic just to watch on your TV at home. I mean, if that's the only way you can watch it, more power to you, but if you can, definitely go see this in the theater. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. Have you seen the movie Venom Let There Be Carnage? Let me know in the comments down below. Where does this rank with you with other comic book movies? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I thought this was pretty damn good. I liked the first one, and I thought this added on quite a bit. And that post-credit scene, it's got me really curious to see how this is going to tie into further stories. So, I don't know, man. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.